Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Warren Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of this season-opening high school varsity baseball contest between the visiting Falcons of the Cambridge Rindge and Latin School and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. Well, folks, it's that time of year again. It is baseball season, and boy, if that ain't just one of the most beautiful times of any year. We had a little bit of a false start yesterday. This game was originally meant to be played yesterday afternoon, but due to some rain earlier that day, the town Parks and Rec department had decided the field's not good to be played, and so they kind of shut it down and canceled the game. And while some players and coaches want to play. And, the field I don't think necessarily was dangerous to the players, although I'm no expert on it or anything like that. But I could also see the angle of, you don't want the field getting messed up by being run on when it's not at its prime condition. So I can understand the town making that decision, even if, it's kind of a bummer to have to wait an extra day before we get our Brookline High baseball action. But that one day later is today. And so here we are, about ready to get a new season of Brookline High baseball off and going. Fans, remember, as always, if there's anything you'd like to say throughout this broadcast, I encourage you to say it in the live chat down below, or might be off to the side depending on what your layout is on YouTube. But I encourage you to say anything you'd like to say in the YouTube live chat, or by sending me an email. You can see my email down in the bottom right corner of your screen. And if you look at the bottom center of your screen, you'll see that we've got a new local sponsor for this season. And I'm happy to say that this broadcast is brought to you in part by Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS Baseball parent Paul Hom and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honey-do lists. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. Visit brklnproven.com or text Paul at 617-352-8829 to find out more and discuss the scheduling, pricing, and specifics of the services your home needs. Once again, that's brklnproven.com or text 617-352-8829. And thank you again to Brookline Proven for sponsoring this broadcast. And you can see that information about Brookline Proven down in the bottom center of your screen, their website and phone number. You can also see that information down in the description section down below. But we'll soon be having a baseball game getting going. You can see the Cambridge Rindge and Latin Falcons warming up on the field. As we've got our first note in the live chat from one of our regulars. It's Mary Walker, one of our patented baseball grandmas in the live chat, saying, so excited for a new season. Go Brookline from Grandma in Groton, New York. Thank you so much for tuning in, Mary. I hope you enjoy this broadcast as well as plenty of other broadcasts we're going to have throughout this spring baseball season. But as the teams warm up, let's take a look at the starting lineups coming into this ball game. We'll start with the visitors, the Cambridge Rindge and Latin Falcons. Now, we've only got last names for the Cambridge players today, as well as some first initials for some players that share last names with some of their teammates. So going through the batting order for Cambridge, leading off for the Falcons, and also starting on the mound for the Falcons will be number 6, O. Henke. Batting second, the center fielder, number 2, Thomas. Batting third, the shortstop, number 10, C. Brown. Batting cleanup, the first baseman, number 12, Alexandrov. Batting fifth, the third baseman, number 11, Callahan. Batting sixth, the second baseman, number 1, Davis. Batting seventh, the catcher, number 17, Sherwood. Batting eighth, the right fielder, number 18, Silber. And batting ninth, the left fielder, number 15, A. Brown. That is the starting lineup for the Cambridge Rindge and Latin Falcons today. Now let's take a look at the starting lineup for this season opener for your 2026 Brookline High Baseball Warriors. Leading off for Brookline today, the designated hitter, a junior, number 9, Connor Fitzgerald. Batting second and wearing number 2, a junior, the second baseman, Hugh Bollinger. Batting third and starting behind the plate at catcher, a senior captain, number 13, Felix Hom. Batting cleanup, another senior captain, the shortstop, number 5, Jimmy DiPaolo. Batting fifth, the third baseman, a junior, number 6, Armand Tandon. Batting sixth, the first baseman, a junior, number 20, Thaddeus Gamau. Batting seventh, the left fielder, a junior, number 3, Eli Hoffman. Batting eighth, the right fielder, a senior, number 8, Max Kaufman. And batting ninth, the center fielder, a senior captain, number 11, Wally Lawrence. And not in the batting order, but starting on the mound for Brookline today, the pitcher, a junior, number 17, Nikolai Rabiner. Head coach of the Brookline High baseball team is Brendan O'Connor, with assistant coaches Colin King, Ryan Nealon, and Will McKay. So that is the starting lineup for your Brookline High baseball team here in the season opener of this 2026 campaign. Brookline coming off a 2025 season where they went 12-8 in the regular season, finished 29th in the power rankings to earn their second consecutive playoff berth. They suffered an upset loss in the preliminary round to number 36 Medford by a final score of 8-6. So they're hoping to make a push for their third straight playoff berth and maybe go a little further. The Warriors did graduate 12 seniors off of last year's roster. Lincoln Hafner, Devin Chin, Rasik Waikar, Gabe Laudano, Captain Elias Brendel, Ben Cody, Sasho Esch, Turner Hafner, Captain Owen Hoffman, Adam Rosenblatt, Ellis Martino, and Jonathan Mazzara. So a lot of players up and down that lineup. They still have a number of players returning from last year's team. And what's interesting is they get ready to take the field. We'll take a look at our first stat graphic for today. As you can see, comparing the pitching stats from last year of the players that graduated versus the players that are returning this year, the returners had a very strong season last year. Amongst the non-seniors that pitched for Brookline last season, they had 15 of the team's 21 starts, posted an 8-4 win-loss record with 1 save. 93 and 2/3 innings pitched, an ERA collectively of 2.77, a whip of 1.63, and 89 strikeouts. Compared with the senior class that admittedly had a bit of an off year for most of them, as they posted just 6 starts, a 4-5 win-loss record, 3 saves, all of them coming from Ben Cody, who actually had a pretty strong senior season on the mound himself. Collectively, the seniors pitched 46 and 2/3 innings, posting an ERA of 3.75, a whip of 1.76, and 27 strikeouts. So Brookline returning a lot of their top pitchers from last year, and while that was sort of the case last year, and a lot of the returners had kind of an off year, we'll see what last year's aces returning to the mound have in store for us today as Brookline gets ready to take the field. Last year when these two teams faced off, Cambridge came away with a 6-3 victory. So Brookline will be hoping to get some payback and start their season off in the W column. And here come the Warriors out onto the field. And as they start warming up, we'll take a look at our first individual stat card here for today. For the starting pitcher for Brookline, number 17, Nikolai Rabiner. As you can see, Rabiner last year, he was the ace of the staff for Brookline. Had a team-high 8 starts out of 9 total appearances. Had a 4-1 record with a team-leading 4 wins. Also led the team in innings pitched at 45 1/3, led in ERA with 1.54, led in WHIP with 1.37, and led in strikeouts with 45. So a very strong 2025 campaign for Nikolai Rabiner. We've got slight drizzle coming down out here in Brookline. Probably not enough to pull the players off the field like it was yesterday, but definitely something to keep an eye on, as the forecast was showing temperatures in the 60s when I arrived here, but between the clouds, the wind chill, and the rain, it's definitely feeling much chillier than that. So be glad that you're getting to watch this one at home, fans. It is not the most ideal day for baseball, but we're still out here, and we're still going to play. Leading off for Cambridge here in the top of the first, the pitcher, number 6, O. Henke. First pitch of the 2026 season is in there for strike 1. So Rabiner starts it off, hitting the zone, and does it twice. Starting off this pitcher versus pitcher matchup strong here. Skips that one in the dirt for ball 1. That one going to miss to the outside. Rabiner not getting Henke to bite on these pitches well outside the zone. And misses that one low as Henke battles his way back to a full count. And draws a swing on the payoff pitch as Henke fouls that one off up the first base side. Stays alive here as we got ourselves a battle here with the first plate appearance of this new season. Count still full. Another try on the payoff pitch. And draws a bouncer over to second, fielded by Bollinger, thrown to first. And the first play of the season is a 4-3 ground out. Now batting the center fielder, number 2, Thomas. First pitch going to miss to the outside. Ball 1. Swing and a miss there. Caught him with the high heat. And that one hits the zone. Rabiner out in front again. We saw him almost give up a walk after throwing a couple empty pitches when he took the lead against the first batter. But here wastes no time as he generates his first K of the new season for out number 2. Now batting the shortstop, number 10, C. Brown. First pitch going to miss to the outside, ball 1. And that one's going to skip in the dirt. Ball 2, and for the first time in this game, Rabiner finds himself behind in the count. That one's fouled off for strike 1. 2 down, bases empty here in the top of the first. Rabiner trying to make quick work of the top of the Cambridge order. Gets a swing and a miss there. Rabiner really working the inside and outside very well, kind of bouncing back and forth between the zones he's attacking early in this one. Draws a bouncer over to third. Tandon comes in and gets it. Oh, he's dropped it. Dropped it on the exchange. Didn't get the throw in time. And so C. Brown will reach on what for now I will score as an E5. Now coming up, the first baseman, number 12, Alexandrov. First pitch is going to be a high, ball 1. Swing and a miss there, strike 1. Looked like he kind of changed up speeds on that pitch. Brown leading off from first as mixes up speeds again, gets him with the heater inside for strike 2. 1-2 the count, 2 down. Brown on first, Alexandrov trying to keep the inning alive as that heater is going to miss outside for ball 2. Swing and tipped into the glove as Rabiner puts an end to the inning. Two Ks, 1 runner left on base, no hits or walks. Pretty strong inning for Rabiner to start. We move to the bottom of the first now with no score. The top of the Brookline order due up. It'll be Fitzgerald, Bollinger, and Hom. And we take a look at another one of our team stat graphics. Taking a look at one thing that I noticed that was kind of interesting, looking at the past 2 years of offense for Brookline, actually, you can see that they had a very different style of generating their offense. When you look at 2024, the team's batting average and slugging percentage noticeably lower than what they had in 2025, as their bats were cracking a lot more last year than the year before. However, 2 years ago, the team drawing a lot more walks, stealing a lot more bases. You can see the on-base percentages very similar despite the disparity in batting average, and you can see how much higher the stolen base count was in 2024 than 25 at 54 to 31. And you can see that the total runs scored relatively similar each of the last 2 years. 104 runs scored in 24 and 102 in 25. So Brookline showing they can generate runs in a variety of ways, really. And we'll see what kind of offense we get from this team this year as Henke takes the mound for Cambridge. Leading off for Brookline, the designated hitter, number 9, Connor Fitzgerald. First pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. You can see Fitzgerald's season stats from last year up on your screen just above our sponsor. He had a slash line of 300 batting average, 417 on base percentage, 350 slugging percentage as he takes a high ball 1. He also had 4 stolen bases, 6 runs scored, and 5 runs batted in. Swing and a miss there for strike 2. One and 2, the count to Fitzgerald. And a timeout called. As I mentioned, this team, these two teams faced off last year, a 6-3 win for Cambridge. Fitzgerald did not play in that one, as he takes that one outside for ball 2. And a good eye on that one. That one looked close from this angle, but Fitzgerald with the good eye and the good patience as he battles his way to a full count. And battles his way to a walk. Fitzgerald trots his way down to first with a leadoff base on balls, and Brookline has their first base runner of the season. Now batting for Brookline, the second baseman, number 2, Hugh Bollinger. Chases the high heat for strike 1. Bollinger last year, batting average 254, on base 333, slugging of 313, a team leading 8 stolen bases to go with 10 runs and 9 RBI. As he takes that one inside for ball 1. Bollinger did play against Cambridge last season. He went 1 for 4 with a double, a run scored, and an RBI against the Falcons in Cambridge last year. And pops this one high and out of play. So that'll go for strike 2. Fitzgerald leading off from first. Could be tough if Brookline wants to steal going up against a lefty pitcher in Henke. As Bollinger fouls that fastball to the backstop and stays alive at 1 and 2. And connects on this one, a liner right at the shortstop, and falling down, he makes the grab. C. Brown snags that one. Fitzgerald retreats back to first. 1 out in the inning. Now batting, the catcher and co-captain, number 13, Felix Hom. Fitzgerald taking off on the first pitch, and he's going to successfully steal second Ball popped out of the catcher's glove on the exchange. Might have been close anyway, as Fitzgerald got a good jump on it. And that'll be the first steal of the season for Brookline. 0-1 the count to Hom, with a runner now in scoring position as Hom takes strike 2. Hom last year, one of Brookline's stronger hitters, a 308, 400, 446 slash line, led the team in hits, doubles, triples, and RBI. And he could potentially generate an RBI here if he can get a hit to the outfield, with Fitzgerald standing at second. Hom calls a timeout. Takes that one high for ball 1. Good catch by Sherwood, the catcher for Cambridge, as he prevents that one from going wild. Might have allowed Fitzgerald to take third. Henke checks on Fitzgerald at second. And Hom tips the breaking ball into the glove for strike 3. 2 down now. Henke with a good chance to get out of the jam here, but he'll need to get past Brookline's cleanup hitter, the shortstop and co-captain number 5, Jimmy DiPaolo. First pitch, and he fouls it, got jammed inside, pops that one just over the first baseman, and that'll be strike 1. DiPaolo last year, a slash line of 221, 293, 294, with 1 steal, 11 runs scored, and 3 RBI. Chases the high heat there for strike 2. Henke's been doing a good job mixing up his speed for the Falcons here in the first inning. Timeout called. Steps back in the box. Ooh, that one either hit the low corner or DiPaolo didn't check. Either way, it is strike 3. Brookline leaves a runner stranded at second. And at the end of 1, we've got no score here in Brookline. Remember, fans, this broadcast brought to you in part by Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. You can see their website and phone number down in the bottom center of your screen, as well as in the description section down below. And as we get ready to move to the second inning, I'd like to take a moment for a local charity spotlight to tell you about the Brookline Food Pantry. The Brookline Food Pantry provides groceries to Brookline residents in need of food assistance. The food pantry serves an average of 700 Brookline families across their 3 pantry locations each week. They also have a number of food service programs connected with the public schools of Brookline, including Brookline High School, to help serve the kids in need both during the week and to give them food packs to take home with them over the weekend. They also have delivery services for in-need Brookline residents that cannot physically get to the pantry as well. They are always looking for more people willing to lend a hand during the fight against hunger, and that can be with monetary donations, direct food donations, or volunteers in the pantry. Food donations can be made at United Parish at 210 Harvard Street in Coolidge Corner on Wednesdays and Fridays from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Monetary donations can be made online at the food pantry's website, brooklinefoodpantry.org. Go online or call 617-800-5339 for more information about how you can volunteer with the pantry and help feed your community. Once again, that's brooklinefoodpantry.org or call 617-800-5339. All that information in the description section down below. As we start the top of the second, we start with 2 outside balls to the third baseman, number 11, Callahan. And then an inside ball 3 as Rabner quickly falling behind here. Now a foul ball for strike 1. And that one's going to skip in the dirt. First walk of the season allowed by Brookline as Callahan trots down to first. Now batting the second baseman, number 1, Davis. Well, they said Callahan was number 11. In fact, he's wearing number 19. And we got a bunt laid down, picked up by Tandon. Throw to first is snagged by Gamau. A successful sac bunt from Davis moves the runner into scoring position. Still a good bounce back play from Tandon after the error in the first inning. But now a runner at second with 1 out as Rabner turns around to check on the runner before turning back to face the catcher, number 17, Sherwood. That pitch in the zone, strike 1. And that one's a swing and a miss for strike 2. 0-2 the count to Sherwood with a runner at second and 1 out. That one inside for ball 1. Good snag by Hom behind the plate to prevent it from getting past him. This one chopped, and a nice backtracking grab by Hugh Bollinger at second to get a big out number 2. Listen, Bollinger may not be the tallest player out there, but he more than makes up for it with his instincts and hustle out there on the field, and you saw it on display there. That pitch gonna miss for ball 1. Two down and a runner at second as that one skips low for ball 2. Swing and a miss there. Putting some heat on that one to the inside corner. Chops that one foul. Count now 2-2 to the right fielder, number 18, Silber. Rain starting to pick up here as that one misses low for ball 3. Full count to Silber. Chops it foul, and count will stay same. Misses that one low. Second walk of the inning for Cambridge, as the rally stays alive with 2 down. Now batting the left fielder, number 15, A. Brown. First pitch in there for strike 1. And we got a downpour here now, as that's going to be a swing and a miss for strike 2. First and second, 2 down. And Rabiner gets him on 3 pitches to get out of the jam. And boy, I really hope this rain calms down soon. Certainly less than ideal conditions for a baseball game, especially considering all the water this field already had to deal with yesterday. Moving to the bottom of the second, still no score between Brookline and Cambridge. And that was certainly something that Rabiner was very strong with last year, was getting out of jams. We even saw that in his debut game for the varsity team last year, as he got out of a number of jams on his way to a win against Waltham with 5 strong innings in that one. He's got 2 strong innings so far, but Brookline hoping to back him up on offense. Coming up for Brookline, the third baseman, number 6, Armand Tandon. Tandon was mostly used as a fielder last year, didn't get a lot of chances at the plate, finished the season 0 for 4 with 1 walk and 1 run scored. Chases that high heat, strike 1. And now hits a bouncer past the pitcher. Shortstop charging in. It's going to be close at first, but they make the play to get out number 1. And now coming up, the first baseman. He was listed as number 20, but in fact he's wearing number 4. Thaddeus Gamau. He takes strike 1. Gamau last year 0 for 2 with an RBI. Oops. As he takes ball 1 there. Big swing and a miss there for strike 2. That one just inside, and Gamau stays alive at 2-2. And he skies one deep out to center, but it's right at the center fielder. And it's an easy catch out there for out number 2. Strongest contact we've seen from either side so far, but still an out regardless. Now coming up, the left fielder, number 3, Eli Hoffman. And that one's going to be a strike, so it'll be a 1-1 count. I want to read out Eli's season stats from last year. I really do, but I'm just trying to keep up with the action here while, dipping in and out of the little coat tent I've put up for my laptop here just so I can update the count for you guys. Hoffman chasing that one low for strike 2. All right, really quick. Hoffman last year, slash line 246, 333, 311. A team leading 4 hit by pitches, 2 steals, 5 runs, and 6 RBI. I did it. 2-2 the count to Hoffman. 2 down, bases empty here in the bottom of the second. And patiently takes that one for ball 3. Full count here to Hoffman. Oh, that one is going to be ball 4. It's a live ball, and so Hoffman picked up the speed a little bit to see if maybe he could take second off him, but nope. Just a simple 2-out walk. And now, with 2 outs and a runner at first, up comes the right fielder, number 8, Max Kaufman. First pitch, big swing and a miss. Another big swing and another miss. Strike 2. And takes ball 1 there. And tips that one in the glove. That'll be strike 3, and that will end the inning. No score at the end of 2. As we move to the top of the 3rd, it'll be the top of the Cambridge order coming up. Hankey, Thomas, and C. Brown. Sorry about that. Just trying to keep everything clean in this weather that's not very conducive to broadcasting outside. First pitch to Hankey is going to hang high for ball 1. This one hit up the middle, and that's going to get through into center field. Now we got our first base hit of the day. Now Thomas takes a wild pitch for the first one as Hankey takes second easily. 1-0 the count. Runner at second. Nobody out. And fouls that one off the third base side for strike one. That one going to hit the zone for strike two. That one going to miss just outside, ball two. Two and two, runner at second, nobody out. And that one skips away. It's another wild pitch, and Henke goes down to third. Full count to Thomas. And gets him with the payoff pitch. That's a big out get for Rabiner. Now coming up is C. Brown. That one's going to bounce low for ball one. Runner on third, one out, no score here between Brookline and Cambridge. This one fouled off for strike one. Fouled off again, strike two. And that one just a bit outside, but Rabiner attacking aggressively despite the runner in scoring position. That one skips in the dirt. Nice cover by Hom. Full count now. And that one misses just low. And it'll be a free pass for Brown. Now batting is Alexandrov. And a pickoff throw to first, and that was close, but Brown does get back safely. And another throw back. And that one is going to hit the zone for strike one. Runners taking off for second. They throw down to second. Oh, they got the tag. Huge play by Felix Hom with Hugh Bollinger applying the tag, taking a runner off the bases. A big second out get. That one's going to miss for a ball. Not sure. I think the count is 1-2. And that one in there for strike 3 as Rabiner escapes the jam again in the top of the 3rd. The rain just not letting up. Due up for Brookline will be their 9-1-2 hitters, Lawrence, Fitzgerald, and Bollinger. The weather tracker on my laptop says it's 55 degrees out, and I promise you, this is not what 55 degrees feels like. And again, you have to wonder if there's any kind of consideration of postponing this game a second time. Because this is some really intense rainfall out here. And just personally, I'm really hoping the rain either stops or that they maybe call this, because I'm getting a little concerned about my setup here. Leading off for Brookline, the center fielder and captain was listed as number 11, but apparently wearing number 24, Wally Lawrence. Takes strike 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Fouls that one off. Slightly dangerous liner into the crowd, but everybody's okay, and Lawrence stays alive at 0-2. That one is going to be ball 1. That one going to catch the inside corner, and Lawrence goes down on strikes. Brookline now cycles around to the top of the order with their designated hitter, number 9, Connor Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald takes strike 1. And that hits the zone for strike 2. High ball 1. And he hits a high bounce, or is that going to stay fair? No, it won't. It's foul. Interesting ball there, but ultimately just rolls foul. Fitzgerald drew a leadoff walk and stole second his last time up, as that one skips in the dirt for ball 2. And he lines a shot out to left. If that stays fair, it does not, just foul. Fitzgerald had a chance for extra bases on that one. If it had just been a little bit more to the right, would have been at least a single. Two and two still the count to Fitzgerald. And he takes strike 3. The ball's dropped by the catcher, and so they have to go down to first, which they do for out number 2. Now batting the second baseman, number 2, Hugh Bollinger. Bollinger lined out to short his last time up. Hits a hard bouncer over to second this time, fielded clean, thrown to first, beats him by a step, and Brookline goes down in order. We're through 3 here at Warren Field. Still no score. A reminder that this broadcast is brought to you in part by Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS baseball parent Paul Hom and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honey-do lists. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. You can see the link and phone number for Brookline Proven down in the bottom center of your screen, as well as in the description section of this video down below. Thank you again to Brookline Proven for sponsoring this broadcast. Due up for Cambridge will be the 5, 6, 7 hitters, Callahan, Davis, and Sherwood. Batting first will be Callahan, and he lifts a shot into left center, going to drop in for a base hit. Now batting is Davis. Callahan, now 2 for 2 today, I believe, with 2 base hits. Can't remember if he got a base hit or a walk, but I know he has reached base safely twice today. Now at that single to left center, Rabiner checking on him at first. Davis laid down a sac bunt his last time up. This time takes strike 1 on the first pitch. And that one's outside for ball one. That one skips in the dirt for ball two. A throw down to first, barely snagged by Gamau. Trying to keep that lead runner honest as they throw back to first again. Oh, that was very close. Callahan went for kind of a clumsy get back to the bag. So that one's going to miss for ball three. 3-1 hitters count to Davis here with a runner at first and nobody out. And it's going to be a high ball four. Two on and nobody out here in the top of the fourth as up comes Sherwood. A throwback to second. Callahan again gets back safe. Shows bunt, pulls back, and they're going to throw back to second. Throw was a little high, and so Callahan able to get back safe. Rabiner looks back at second again. I think the count is 1-0. Shows bunt, pops it up in the air, caught by Rabiner, turns around, throws back to second. Got him in time for the double play. Huge reaction from Nico Rabiner. And the 1-6 double play blows up that sack bunt attempt, and instead of second and third with one out, it's a runner at first with two outs. As Rabiner tried to follow that up with a pickoff throw to first, Davis does get back safe. This pitch going to be high for ball one. This one popped up, out of play, foul ball. That's going to be a low ball, two. Two down, runner at first. That one's going to miss. Ball three. And that's a low ball four. Second walk issued by Rabiner this inning as Silber trots down to first. Oh, and I think we've got a pinch hitter for Cambridge here. First and second, two outs. Oh, hit him in the head. And that will load the bases. And now we cycle back to the top of the order with Henke. Pitcher against pitcher here with the bases loaded and two outs in a scoreless ball game. And the first pitch is going to hit the zone for strike one. I'm going to update the count audibly as best I can. My fingers are killing me out here. This one popped up. DiPaolo chasing back for it, racing, and he's got it. Jimmy DiPaolo putting on the jets to track that ball down as Rabiner escapes the jam once again. We're at the midway point of this ball game. Still no score between Brookline and Cambridge. On a wet, cold afternoon here in Brookline. Henke back on the hill for his fourth inning of work. And he'll be facing Brookline's 3, 4, 5 hitters. Hom, DiPaolo, and Tandon. Brookline's still searching for a way to get a jolt to their offense, as I believe they're still searching for their first base hit of the season. I think they've gotten two walks so far, and that's been it. Cambridge has been generating pressure offensively, although they've been kept off the scoreboard thanks to some clutch defensive plays from Nico Rabiner and the Warriors' defense. But they need some offense here. Now batting the catcher, number 13, Felix Hom. First pitch, and he fouls it off for strike one. That one going to miss high and away, ball one. For now, I'm just going to be updating the count audibly, so it's a 1-1 count. I know I'm not updating the graphics, and I apologize for that. Weather's just making this a bit too difficult. As Hom swings and misses, the count will be 1-2. 1-2, the count to Hom. Here leading off the bottom of the fourth. Brief timeout called. Fouls this one off, stays alive at 1-2. And that one going to come in way high for ball two. Hom trying to battle here to start the bottom of the fourth. Big swing and a miss, strike three. First out of the inning. Hom goes down on strikes for the second time today, as now up comes the shortstop, number 5, Jimmy DiPaolo. That first one going to miss for ball 1. DiPaolo himself, I believe, went down on strikes his last time at the plate. That one catches the low corner. DiPaolo was expecting that one to drop a little bit lower, but it hits the zone for strike 1. Fouls this one out of play. DiPaolo falls behind in the count, 1-2. Slices that one foul and out of play and stays alive at 1-2. And falls for the off-speed pitch and goes down swinging. Two down, bases empty here in the bottom of the 4th. Up comes the third baseman, number 6, Armand Tandon. First pitch high for ball 1. Tandon grounded out to short his last time up. Swings and misses there. That one going to be low. I think the count's 1-2. I was mistaken. It's now 2-2. It was 2-1 before, but that one catches the zone. Hits a dribbler up the third base line, but I think that one's going to roll foul. Tandon takes a high ball there, and I think the count is now full. Though it might have just become 2-2. I might have just had my count wrong at various points throughout this plate appearance. No, I was right. It was a full count, and now it's a walk. Tandon trots down to first. Now up, the first baseman, number 4, Thaddeus Gamau. And he skies another one. This one's going further deep back into center field, but the center fielder is going to track it. And for the second time today, Gamau flies out to center, and that will end the inning. Through 4, no score. Goose eggs all around as we move to the 5th inning. I hope you guys don't mind. There's been a bit of a rougher, more chaotic broadcast because of the weather. I really wasn't expecting it to get this bad. The forecast was saying like, oh, 40% chance of rain around this time. We might get like 0.2 inches of rain, and so I was thinking, okay, maybe there'll be some raindrops here and there, but overall we should be okay. And hey, the weather's in like the 50s and 60s today. It should be nice and relatively warm. Boy, was I wrong. So, hope you guys have still been enjoying the broadcast despite it all. As we do have some notes in the live chat I've been neglecting to mention. Greg Hoffman saying, love opening day. So fun to be back on the field with Warriors baseball. Let's go. And also later saying, heads up baseball, way to field your position, Nico, in reference to the double play. Cheryl Bollinger saying, hi, Jesse, grandma from San Diego, cheering on the Warriors. Holden Hodgson saying, let's go BHS. Donnell O'Neill saying, let's go Thad. And New England Sports Times saying, let's go Brookline. So, number of notes. I'm sorry I'm only just catching up to you guys now. This has been a chaotic one, but I appreciate you guys sticking with me through it all. Now batting for Cambridge here to start the top of the fifth is Thomas, and he skies the first pitch he sees into shallow right. Bollinger tracking it, and he's going to take it himself for out number one. Now batting is C. Brown. First pitch is in there for strike one. So count is 0-1. Hits a hard bouncer over to third, snagged by Tandon. Long throw, skips away. Runner's going to head down to second. Hom trying to back him up, but not in time, and Brown will go down to second on the E5. You know, it's tough covering those throws from third to first, and conditions wet as anything out here certainly makes it tougher, but a play like that certainly stings for the defense. Now batting, Alexandrov. Alexandrov had an explosive day at the plate against Brookline last year. So far today, Rabener's been able to keep him in check as he slices that first pitch foul for strike one. And it looks like Cambridge will be the first to have some action going in the pen, as they are hoping to take the lead and break up the scoreless game. Brookline trying to keep it scoreless. And that'll hit the zone for strike two. It'll be an 0-2 count to Alexandrov. That one gonna miss, low and away, and Alexandrov does not chase it. One and two, the count. Runner at second, one out. That one misses just outside, ball two. Swing and a miss. Rabener with a big strike out there to get out number two. But now coming up is a batter who has reached base safely twice today, and that's Callahan. First pitch is low for ball one. Two down, runner at second here in the top of the fifth, still no score. Hits a bouncer up the third base side, it's going to be foul. That one hits the zone. Strike 2. I believe the count is 1-2 with a runner at second and 2 down in a scoreless game here in the top of the 5th. Callahan fouls that one off to stay alive. That one comes in low, ball 2. Exchanging the ball, trying to get a drier one. And this one skied out to left center. Looks like it's going to drop in the gap, out of reach. And this will break up the scoreless tie. A potential play at second. They are going to get Callahan at second. And that will end the inning as Callahan kind of stumbled on his way to second. But he will still get an RBI single. And Cambridge will be the first to score here in the top of the 5th. So Callahan able to drive in C. Brown for what will go down as an unearned run for Rabiner as Brown reached on an error. Brookline going to try and answer back with their 7, 8, 9 hitters, their 3 outfielders, Hoffman, Kaufman, and Lawrence. Cambridge sticking with Henke on the mound. I'm not seeing any other pitchers warming up for Brookline, so they might just be sticking with Rabiner. There was some slight action in the pen for Cambridge during the top half of the inning. But for now, they're sticking with their starter. Leading off for Brookline, the left fielder, number 3, Eli Hoffman. Hoffman came close to making the play of the game on that fly ball out to left center. Now he hits a grounder to second, fielded cleanly, flipped to first, and that'll be out number 1. Now batting the right fielder, number 8, Max Kaufman. First pitch in the zone for strike 1. 0-1 the count. 1 out, bases empty here in the bottom of the 5th. That one going to miss high and away for ball 1. Well, the rain is letting up a bit right now. Kaufman lines one through the gap, and Max Kaufman has the first base hit of 2026 for Brookline. So the Warriors have a potential tying run on the bags here with 1 out. And now with the bottom of the order up, your number 9 hitter, the question is, do you try a sac bunt, even though that would be a second out? Or do you have him try and swing and see if you can move the runner along that way? For now, they're having Wally Lawrence battle this one out at the plate as he takes ball 1 inside. Takes another one inside. That's ball 2. Top of the order due up after Lawrence as he takes another one inside. 3-0. Big hitters count here to Wally Lawrence. That one just catches the corner for strike 1. 3-1 the count to Lawrence with Kaufman at first. Brookline trailing by 1. Swing and a miss there, and it's a full count. Hankey battling his way back here against Lawrence. Full count, 1 out, runner at first here in a 1-run ball game. That one catches the low inside corner. Lawrence not liking the call, but it is the ump's call to make. 2 down, runner at first. And now up, the designated hitter, number 9, Connor Fitzgerald. First pitch curves into the zone for strike 1. 0-1 the count to Fitzgerald. Runner at first, 2 down. Kaufman taking off for second as that one's going to skip in the dirt, and Kaufman successfully steals second. That one going to miss to the outside. And I believe that is ball 2. That one going to hit the zone. I believe the count is 2-2 now to Fitzgerald. Yes, the ump confirms. 2-2 the count. Runner at second, 2 down. Brookline hoping to tie things up, trailing 1-0 here in the bottom of the 5th. Fitzgerald holds, and it's a good hold as he gets his way to a full count with a high ball 3. Fitzgerald holds. It's strike 3 called. And that will end the inning. At the end of 5, our score, Cambridge 1, Brookline 0. At the end of this 5th inning, I remind you this broadcast is brought to you in part by Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS baseball parent Paul Hom and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honey-do lists. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. Check out the link and phone number you can contact them at down in the description section down below. Well, it's still very cold out here, but the rain appears to have let up for the time being. Due up for Cambridge will be Davis, Sherwood, and Silber. And Brookline has brought on a relief pitcher. First pitch to Davis is fouled off for strike one. Just give me a second here, folks. On the mound for Brookline and throwing a high ball one is number 12, Harris Hodgson. That ball tipped for strike two. So Rabiner leaves the game after 5 innings and 1 unearned run allowed. And he's currently the pitcher on the hook for the loss. As this one fouled off, Davis stays alive. Hodgson hoping to hold off the Cambridge offense, see if can give the offense a chance to try and come back in this low-scoring game. Davis still battling with a 1-2 count. Hodgson steps off the mound briefly. This one going to be lined out to left, and that's going to drop in fair. A potential for extra bases here as Davis rounds first, heads for second. They're not even going to try and contest that one. It's a leadoff double for Davis. So a runner at second to start off the top of the 6th. And now coming up is Sherwood. Hodgson takes a look back at second, but doesn't throw. Hodgson turns around again, but again holds off. Shows bunt, lays it down, picked up by Hodgson, bobbles it, throw to first, gets away, and a run might come in. It's picked up by Kaufman, thrown to the plate, and it's not in time, and that throw gets away. It's a comedy of errors for the Brookline defense, and that will allow Cambridge's second run to come in. It'll be a runner at second with nobody out as the attempted sac bunt results in a few errors for Brookline. That's going to be a high ball one to Silber. And Hodgson looks over at second but does not throw. Shows bunt, and instead it's a wild pitch. Cambridge continuing to take advantage of Brookline's defensive miscues here in the 6th inning. That pitch inside. That one in the zone for a strike. I've kind of lost track of the count here in the midst of all this chaos. That is going to be a low ball 4, and Silber will take the free pass to first. Looks like A. Brown back at the plate after number 4 had hit for him last time. Runner going to take off, and they're just going to throw back to first, try and get him, but the throw is wild, and Silber successfully steals second off the attempted pickoff. Runners now at second and third with nobody out. And that's going to be a high ball 1 to Brown. Cambridge leading Brookline 2-0, and Brookline needs something to go right on defense so they can try and turn this around. Strike 1 there. This one lifted out to left, and it's going to drop in. Hoffman slips but does collect the ball as a run is going to come in on the RBI single for Brown. A 3-0 lead now for the Falcons. Now back to the top of the order with Henke as the first pitch from Hodgson comes in high for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Runners at first and third with nobody out. Here in the top of the 6th, another pickoff move, and Gamau juggled the ball, and now the runner is going for home, and both steals are successful. Cambridge just running roughshod over them now, as it's now a 4-0 lead. This one fouled off. This one slapped up the middle, and it's picked up by DePaulo, thrown to first, and Brookline gets out number 1. Now batting is Thomas. Takes strike 1. Thomas skies this one out to left center. Both outfielders tracking it. And coming in for it is Wally Lawrence. He drops it on the exchange. Or are they saying he didn't even catch it? There's a discussion now as it looks like Brookline's going to appeal whether Lawrence dropped the ball on the catch or on the exchange. And so after the successful appeal from Brookline, they're going to say it was a catch by Lawrence. And so it will just go down as a sac fly. The run does count. 2 down now in the inning. Now up is C. Brown for the Falcons. Bases now empty. Swing and a miss for strike 1. And that's going to be a high ball 1. That one's going to miss for ball 2. And that's a low ball 3. 3-1 the count to Brown. And that's going to be a high. Well, I thought it was ball 4, but I guess I had the count wrong. This one skied out shallow right. Coming in for it is Kaufman and makes the catch for out number 3. A rough top of the 6th inning, to be sure, for Brookline, as what was once a 1-run deficit has now exploded into 5. Going to the bottom of the 6th. Brookline trails 5-0. Brookline will have their 2-3-4 hitters coming up against the relief pitcher, who I believe is Thomas. It'll be Bollinger, Hom, and DePaulo due up for the Warriors as they try and find some kind of spark on offense. Trailing here by 5 in their season opener. All right, looks like they've finished their warm-ups, and the new Cambridge pitcher ready to face the Brookline offense. Cambridge was able to take good advantage of the change in pitcher in the top half of the inning. We'll see if Brookline can do the same. Leading off, the second baseman, number 2, Hugh Bollinger. First pitch, and he smacks one through the left gap, and that's going to be a leadoff single for Bollinger. So right from the first pitch, Brookline gets as many hits in this inning as they've had the rest of the game. Now coming up, the catcher, number 13, Felix Hom. Bollinger hopping back and forth off the bag. Remember, he did lead Brookline in steals last season. First pitch to Hom is in there for strike 1. This pitch hits a dribbler up the third base line. It's a fair ball, and it's an infield single for Felix Hom. Or no, they say it was foul. I thought it was a fair ball, but they said foul. So that'll be an 0-2 count to Hom. Bollinger taking off. Hom swings and misses. That's strike 3. Bollinger slides in safe with the steal. So a runner on second, but now 1 out for Brookline. As up comes the shortstop, number 5, Jimmy DiPaolo. First pitch gonna miss, ball 1. With a runner in scoring position, DiPaolo hoping he can drive in Brookline's first run of the year. That one gonna miss, ball 2. 2-0 the count. That one's going to be an inside ball 3. DiPaolo ahead in the count at 3-0. DiPaolo hits a hard grounder. That's going to go through the left gap. Bollinger's going to round third and head for the plate. And Brookline has their first run of the season. Jimmy DiPaolo driving in Hugh Bollinger, and Brookline is on the board. So they managed to get one back. Now at the plate, the third baseman, number 6, Armand Tandon. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Fouls that one off, strike 2. Back to drizzling here in the bottom of the 6th. Runner at first, one out, and DePaulo's taking off for second, and the pitch is wild. So DePaulo easily down to second. And now another runner in scoring position for Brookline. Tandon fouls that one off. Stays alive with 2 strikes. 1-2, I believe, is the count. Swing and a miss, and that'll be strike 3. Two down, and up comes the first baseman, number 4, Thaddeus Gamau, and he's gotten big contact on each of his last 2 at-bats, but they both resulted in flyouts to center as he slices this one foul for strike 1. And that one catches the low corner for strike 2. Runner's taking off for third. Gamau swings, hits a grounder. Shortstop coming in for it. Long throw is not in time, and Gamau reaches on the infield single. A clever kind of hit and run, to be sure, with DePaulo running to third. The third baseman had to move over. He's normally the one that would take that ground ball, I think, and so Gamau had a chance to leg that one out with the shortstop having to cover a lot of range to try and make that play. So now runners at first and third with 2 down, and up comes the left fielder, number 3, Eli Hoffman. First pitch outside, ball 1. That one catches the zone, strike 1. 1-1 the count to Hoffman. And that one's a high ball 2. And that is going to be a high ball 3. Hoffman with a chance to load the bases if he draws his second walk. And that's what he's going to do. Bases juiced for Brookline, and boy, I didn't think I'd be saying this, but the tying run is at the plate. With 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th, the bases are loaded for Brookline as they trail by 4. DePaulo at third, Gamau at second, Hoffman at first. And Max Kaufman at the plate, hoping to make something happen. He got Brookline's first base hit of the year his last time up, and now he draws a high ball 1. That one also going to miss, ball 2. Remember, with the bases loaded, a walk still brings in a run for Brookline. But it's got to be a walk or a hit with 2 outs. That one going to catch the high outside corner for strike 1. That one in the zone as well. Thomas battling back to a 2-2 count here against Kaufman with 2 outs and the bases juiced. That one skips in the dirt. The runners thought about it. Wait, DePaulo cheated up too much, and now he's in a rundown between third and home. The throw. Wait, they missed the tag. DePaulo came in. What a chaotic inning this has been. Now a 5-2 score as Jimmy DePaulo somehow, while slipping up and down the baseline, dodges around the attempted tag and comes home for Brookline's second run. Runners now at second and third. And that one is in the zone. Kaufman thought he had ball 4, but instead it's strike 3. Brookline gets a couple runs back, but at the end of the inning, they still trail. After 6, our score, the Cambridge Rindge and Latin Falcons 5, the Brookline Warriors 2. As we get ready to go to the 7th and final inning, I remind you this broadcast is brought to you in part by Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS Baseball parent Paul Hom and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honeydew lists. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. Check out the link and phone number for Brookline Proven down in the bottom middle of your screen, as well as in the description section down below. Looks like Brookline going to stick with Hodgson for the 7th inning. It was a rough inning for Hodgson in the 6th. 4 runs allowed. And now he'll be working against the 4, 5, 6 hitters for Cambridge, starting with Alexandrov. First pitch high and away for ball 1. This one sliced foul and out of play. That one hits the zone for strike 2. 1-2, the count to Alexandrov. And a line shot through the left gap for a leadoff single. Now coming up is number 19, Callahan. And they bring in a pinch hitter, number 7, in place of Alexandrov on the base paths. First pitch to Callahan, going to miss outside, ball 1. And he lifts this one out to right center. That's going to drop in. Lawrence picks it up. Not going to try and stop the lead runner at third. And that'll put runners at the corners to start here in the top of the 7th. Now batting is number 1, Davis. As they send out another pinch runner in place of Callahan. That'll be number 5 heading down to first. First pitch is going to be outside for ball 1. That one fouled off for strike 1. That one going to miss, low and in, ball 2. Count, I believe, is 2-1. That hits the zone for strike 2. 2-2. Runners at the corners. Nobody out here in the top of the 7th. This one connected on and fouled out of play. That one hits the zone, strike 3. Hodgson gets out number 1 on a strikeout. First pitch going to miss for ball 1. That one also going to miss. 2-0 the count. That's going to be a high ball 3. And that's in the zone. Strike 1. 3-1 the count. That one going to miss low, ball 4, and that will load the bases. A free pass there for Sherwood. And now up comes Silber. Bases loaded, 1 out. First pitch high, ball 1. That one misses high and in, ball 2. And again, remember, a free pass here would bring in another run for Cambridge. Hits a hard grounder over to short. Apollo bobbles it. A hard bounce there, and the E6 allows run number 6 to come in for the Falcons. Bases still loaded with 1 out. That pitch going to miss high and away for ball 1. That one a swing and a miss for strike 1 to A. Brown. That one catches the low corner for strike 2. That's going to be a low, ball 2. 2-2 the count. This one skied up, going to stay in the infield. In foul territory, Hom couldn't snag it. If that ball had been definitively in fair territory, they might have called an infield fly. But instead, it falls harmlessly to the ground, and the count remains the same. That one misses high, ball 3. And that's going to miss. And it'll be a bases loaded walk to bring in run number 7. Now we cycle back to the top of the order with Henke. Pitcher on credit for the win after throwing 5 shutout innings to start for Cambridge. Takes strike 1. Fouls that one off, strike 2. Reaches out and fouls that one off to stay alive at 0-2. Lifts this one out to right. Kaufman on his horse, tracks it down for the second out. And they got a potential pickoff at second, but no dice. A run will come in on the sac fly from Henke, and that'll make it 8-2. And we got a wild pitch to start this one. A throw down to third. And he gets there safely. Close play at third, but no dice. 2 down runners now at second and third with Thomas at the plate. That's going to be a high ball 2. That's going to be a low ball 3. And that's going to be a low ball 4. Thomas gets the free pass down to first, and Cambridge reloads the bases. Now up is C. Brown. That one's going to be a high ball 1 to Brown. That one skips in the dirt for ball 2. That one misses away for ball 3. And that's a low ball 4, and the bases loaded walk brings in another run for Cambridge as they extend their lead to 9-2. And Cambridge is officially batted around as Alexandrov coming back up to the plate for the second time this inning. And head coach Brendan O'Connor out to talk to his pitcher. It's been a rough outing for Harris Hodgson, who pitched just 1 inning last year. And his first appearance as a reliever for this season has been a rough one, to be sure. They stick with Hodgson after the meeting at the mound. Bases loaded, 2 down. Alexandrov lines a shot deep out to left, and that one drops fair. And this one is going to clear the bases. 3 more runs in off the bases clearing double from Alexandrov. And while some fans might remember that the mercy rule at the high school level is 10 runs after 5 innings, it doesn't matter if it's the top half of the inning. Has to go all the way to the bottom half. So they can't end this game on a mercy rule because it would have ended in the bottom half of this inning regardless. This one, a liner caught by Tandon, and that is the final out of the inning. And we now head to the bottom of the 7th. And what was once a scoreless game is now turned into a bit of a one-sided affair. Going into the bottom of the 7th, the score, Cambridge 12, Brookline 2. Thomas back on the mound. He'll be trying to get the last 3 outs of this game. As Brookline would really need the inning of all innings if they wanted to come back in this one, trailing here by 10. It'll be the 9-1-2 hitters coming up for Brookline. Lawrence, Fitzgerald, and Bollinger. Leading off, the center fielder, number 24, Wally Lawrence. First pitch to Lawrence, going to be a high ball 1. Lawrence hits one right back to Thomas, and he makes the quick-handed snag for out number 1. Some good contact from Lawrence, but just a better glove from Thomas for the first out. First pitch to Connor Fitzgerald, going to miss for ball 1. And that's going to miss ball 2. That'll miss as well, ball 3. 3-0, the count to Fitzgerald. And that'll be a strike. 3-1 now, the count to the designated hitter, Connor Fitzgerald. 1 out, bases empty here in the bottom of the 7th. And Fitzgerald draws a walk. So a runner at first, 1 out, and up comes the second baseman, number 2, Hugh Bollinger. That pitch is going to be high for ball 1. Bollinger skies this one to shallow right. Right fielder coming in for it and snags it for out number 2. Brookline down to their final out of the ball game. And up comes the catcher, number 13, Felix Hom. First pitch, and he launches one out to center field, but it's within range of the center fielder, and that is your ball game. The final score here at Warren Field, the Cambridge Rindge and Latin School Falcons 12, the Brookline High Warriors 2. Well, it was a close game for the first half of it. The two teams scoreless through 4. Cambridge managed to eke out a run in the 5th inning to take a 1-0 lead. Opened it up with 4 more runs in the 6th. Brookline answered back with 2 runs of their own to try and keep it within reach. But then 7 more runs piled on by the Falcons in the top of the 7th turned it into what the final score was. So a bit Bit of an unceremonious start to Brookline's 2026 season, but still some positives to take away for sure, especially from those first few innings in the defensive effort. Well, that's going to do it for this one. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. One last thank you to our local sponsor for today, Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS baseball parent Paul Hom and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honey-do lists. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. Visit brklnproven.com or text Paul at 617-352-8829 to find out more about what Paul and his team can do for your home. Once again, that's brklnproven.com or text 617-352-8829. You can find all that information about Brookline Proven down in the bottom center of your screen, as well as in the description section down below. Also down below in the description section, you can find the link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Food Pantry, as well as some links related to me that you can also see in the bottom right corner of your screen. My personal website, jessesports.com, my email, and my social media accounts on Instagram and Facebook. I'll be posting highlights from this game sometime, either today or tomorrow, on this channel here on YouTube, as well as on Instagram and Facebook. But that's going to do it for this broadcast. Thank you for putting up with all the chaos that came from the bad weather. From Warren Field in Brookline, Massachusetts, final score, Cambridge 12, Brookline 2. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.